How would you like to build a strong and defined six-pack using nothing but your own body weight and resistance bands? If that sounds like you, then you have found the right video. Building a nice and defined six-pack is something that we all want to do, and it's what ultimately got me into the gym. In fact, I actually started working out at 14 years old because I wanted abs because, well, to be honest, I wanted girls to like me, right? Like many dudes. And honestly, that's what most of my training actually consisted of at a young age, was all ab training, plus a little bit of arm training, but really nothing else, which really led me to neglect a lot of other muscle groups, but also led me to get a nice and defined six-pack at a young age as a teenager. So let's jump right into the first exercise, and that would be weighted leg raises. So when starting out with my ab training, I want to target the weakest link first while I have the most energy, which tends to be the lower abdominals for most people. Now, if you can't handle any extra weight with leg raises, then that is totally fine. But if you can, I recommend about a 5 to 10 pound weight. This is usually plenty to really challenge your abdominals. And if you happen to have a resistance band and you don't have any weights, then you can actually do this with a resistance band to make it more challenging. Now remember, when doing your ab training, you want to make sure that you breathe in on your eccentric and breathe out on your concentric, so that way you can get your abs to really cinch down when you flex them and not develop those bloated abs that none of us want. Now your goal when doing the leg raises is to get your legs as low as you possibly can to really challenge you and get a bigger stretch on your lower abdominals. Now to make this the most effective version of a leg raise, if you happen to have access to something like a captain's chair or a dip bar, then what you can do is you can actually extend your legs a little bit behind you, really getting a bigger stretch on your abdominals, and this will really help you get more development in your abs. However, if you just have access to the floor, that will work totally fine when starting out. Now really focus on doing every rep slow and controlled and feeling a nice tight contraction on your abdominals, and I promise you will really feel it in your lower abs. The next exercise that we have on this list is the Starfish Crunch. So this exercise is great for really targeting more the midsection of your abdominal muscles. Be sure when doing the Starfish Crunch to keep your back flat on the ground and lay down in a starfish position, then bring your arm up and then your opposite leg up at the same time, and then really try to get a nice twist when you come into your Starfish Crunch. Once you're done with one side, switch to the other and continue to do this back and forth until you really start to feel that nice burn and that nice contraction in your abdominal muscles. And of course, if you want a little more time under tension, then be sure to really squeeze at the top and hold it for a few seconds before coming back down. Be sure when doing these to get as much of a twist as you can, so that way you can feel that contraction as much as possible. And be sure to do these in a more controlled fashion. Don't just swing your arm up as quick as you can and use momentum. Really control the rep all the way through, and you will see the best results from the Starfish Crunch. The next exercise that we have on this list is the weighted sit-up. So there's nothing like a good old-fashioned sit-up. However, many of us can really bang out a lot of them, and that's why I wanted to include this as a weighted exercise as opposed to a non-weighted exercise. However, if you're someone that's challenged by around 10 to 15 regular sit-ups, then don't worry about the weight, just focus on doing the sit-ups. But if you're someone who can bang out endless amounts of sit-ups, then it is time to add weight and make the exercise way more challenging. Now, to perform the sit-up correctly, your feet need to remain on the ground at all times. Avoid using momentum to go through these as fast as possible, and really focus on slow and controlled reps and getting a nice tight contraction at the top of the sit-up. Be sure to breathe out when you're coming up into the sit-up, so that way your abs really cinch down on the contraction, and then breathe in when you're coming back down. If you're doing the body weight version and you have your hands behind your neck, be sure to not pull on your neck. This is not only bad for your neck, but it's also not going to improve your sit-up form in any way, shape, or form. If you do these correctly, then you'll find that the sit-up is still a great ab exercise and is great for seeing abdominal gains. Now real quick, I wanted to interrupt this video to mention my free resource, the Fast Track to Fitness. I put this free resource together so that way you would have a clear guide to help you develop a strong foundation for yourself on your fitness journey, as well as avoid a lot of the pitfalls that many of us fall into, including myself, on our fitness journeys. So that way you can really, shortcut some of those mistakes, avoid them altogether, and really be on the fast track to getting in the best shape of your life. And if you want to pick this up, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of this video. Now on to the rest of the video. The next exercise that we have on this list is the V-taper twist. Now this exercise is a really small exercise, but do not let it fool you, because you will definitely feel it if you do it the right way. In fact, I just recently started introducing this exercise into my ab routine to really help me start to develop that nice V taper on my lower abdominal area. Now this exercise can be performed laying down or standing up, but what you're going to do is you're going to flex your pelvis forward, and then you're really going to focus on getting somewhat of a crunch-like twist in that V-taper area. Now this is going to be a really subtle movement, but if you do it correctly, then you are going to feel it in that V-taper area, unlike you've ever felt any ab exercise before. Bang this out until failure, and I guarantee you that you will be lighting up your lower abdominals in a whole new way. The next exercise that we have on this list is the resistance band knees to elbows. So you may notice that I actually don't have a resistance band in the clip, and that is because while shooting this video, my resistance band actually broke. But you can do this with or without a resistance band. If you feel like you're ready to use one, then go ahead and use one. But if you just want to use body weight, then you can do that instead. Now this exercise is really going to target your obliques from the bottom up, and what you're going to do is you're going to lay on your side, and you're really going to focus on bringing that knee up and crunching with your side, using your oblique muscles to really bring your leg up and contract on the side of your abdominals in your obliques. Now how this exercise is going to work is that you're going to lay on one side and you are going to bring your leg up and really feel that nice crunch on your obliques. You're also going to bring your elbow down at the same time to bring a little bit of a crunch from the top down. If you focus on bringing that leg up and twisting from the top down to let your elbow meet your knee, then you will really feel a nice tight contraction in your oblique area. And of course, if you're choosing to do this with a resistance band and you're really feeling it light up your obliques and you want to tone it down a little bit, you can always get rid of the resistance band. But I guarantee you, if you use a resistance band, you will feel this so much more than if you just use your body weight. The next exercise that we have on this list is the resistance band step out. So I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to be like, he's not using a resistance band, he's using a cable machine. Well, like I mentioned earlier, my resistance band unfortunately broke while I was shooting this video, so I had to shoot the rest of the video at the gym and use a cable machine. However, if you have a resistance band, you can do the exact same thing with a resistance band. But if you do have access to a cable machine, I personally prefer using a cable machine as opposed to a resistance band. But regardless of which one you choose to use, this is one of the best oblique exercises that I have ever done, and I absolutely love it and include it in almost every single oblique exercise routine that I do. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get your body parallel to the resistance band or the cable, whichever one you're using, and then you're really going to use your obliques to twist your body forward. When you do this, you're going to feel a nice tight contraction in your obliques, and if you really want to make this even more challenging, what you can do is when you make that twist, you can step forward and really feel that more in your lower oblique area. I can pretty much guarantee if you start incorporating this into your oblique routine that you are going to light up your obliques and you are going to feel it unlike any other oblique exercise that you've probably ever tried before. The next exercise that we have on this list is the woodchopper pushdown both ways. Now this is another one of my all-time favorite oblique workouts, and what we're going to be doing here is we're really going to be targeting the internal obliques from the top and the bottom. The goal here is to use a light to medium weight and go from a diagonal angle up to a diagonal angle down and really feel that on the opposite side in the lower oblique area. You're really going to feel a tight contraction in your obliques when you do this, and what I like to do is I like to hold it for a few seconds to really just keep that time under tension and really get a nice tight contraction. Now the goal here is to keep your arms straight and really let your obliques do the work. You don't want to be overtaking this exercise with your arms. Really just try to get that twist with the obliques and keep your arms locked out straight. After going from the top down, now switch it up and do it from the bottom up, and you will now hit your internal obliques from the bottom up. The same rules apply here. Keep your arms straight, really focus on letting your obliques do all the work, and if you do these correctly, then I can pretty much guarantee you that this is going to be one of your favorite oblique exercises. The next exercise that we have on this list is the side plank crunches. Now this is easily one of my favorite oblique exercises because pretty much every time I do this, I feel the burn the next day. Now you can do this on the floor or you can do this on an elevated surface. However, I do prefer to do it on an elevated surface because it makes it way easier to get a nice deep contraction on your obliques. The goal here is to keep your body straight and then dip your body down until you feel a nice stretch on the obliques that are closer to the ground, and then use your obliques to power through and lift your body back up, and then you'll use your obliques to hold yourself straight at the top of the movement. And when you do this exercise, you're going to feel a nice tight contraction on your obliques, and if you do these correctly, then you may find that you're only able to bang out around 10 of them before your obliques start to get tired. However, if they start to get too easy for you, try adding some additional weight to make it even more difficult on your obliques and see more oblique gains. If you do all of these exercises that I've included on this list, then I can pretty much guarantee you that your abs and your obliques are really going to be feeling it the next day. So that's one of my favorite ab and oblique workout routines. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notifications bell as I put out a video like this every single week and you never want to miss a video. And before this video comes to an end, I just wanted to mention one more time my free resource, the 20 must-know tips when starting your fitness journey. If you want to pick this up, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of this video. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, leave me a comment, and share this with someone who can gain some value from it. And I will see you guys next week. Peace out.